Stock trading by members of Congress is creating massive conflicts of interest for lawmakers. Ring of Fire's Farron Cousins joins me to talk about it. We've done this story before, Farron. This is such a simple solution. Pass laws that say to congressmen that you may not trade stocks while you're in office. Put it in a blind trust. This is simple stuff. This just shows the level of greed that's taking place up in Washington right now.
Right, and for the longest time, it's been Nancy Pelosi herself who has been stonewalling all of this. And of course, we understand Pelosi's husband makes a lot of stock trades. He's been buying and selling stocks and things that Congress is working on. There's no secret that this man has a very serious conflict of interest. And so Pelosi had, for the longest time, been the biggest roadblock. So finally, recently, she says, all right, listen, we'll go forward with this. I'm okay with it now. And actually, just last week, they were about to bring this legislation to the floor. And then out of nowhere, I still cannot figure out why, Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley comes out and basically says, we're not doing this right now. We're going to kick this can down the road.
What a surprise. Coming out of Merkley,
really,
what a surprise.
I mean, it'd almost be as surprising if Bernie Sanders had done that.
That's the same caliber. If you look at Merkley's history is great on progressive. I mean, he's just the best we could ask for. That's just so out there. Now, Pelosi doesn't surprise me because hubby has made millions of dollars with inside information that she's provided. She says, oh no, you know what their defense is to Pelosi? Well, she doesn't own any stock. I swear that's their, Nancy doesn't own any stock. But look, the bigger story is this, is you've got 3,700 conflict trades where they've looked at them. I say there's been 2 or 3 entities that have been studying this for a while, but let's use the 3,700 conflict trades. Well, the conflict is that these are people that are on committees or they're on assignments, they're taking place with hearings and investigations on the very thing that they're trading stock for. It's insider trading. People go to prison for it unless you're in Congress.
And what happens here, just so everybody understands, is the way this works is, okay, we've got a hearing coming up with executives from some industry. So right before the hearing, I'm going to sell my stock because I know the hearing is going to make these guys look bad. The stock is going to go down. That's one example. The other is, okay, we're crafting a budget bill. We're crafting a military bill. We're about to send $8 million to Raytheon. Hey, broker, put some money into Raytheon for me before we pass this legislation. Before it even leaves committee, the public doesn't even know it exists. Those are things that actually happen with our elected officials. And when they get caught, and this is something you and I have talked about too, the penalty for them is a $200 maximum fine.
Was it Lewenthal from California? Is his name? Yeah. So he was actually involved in the hearings about the 737 MAX design defects. And there were bad findings. They said, we got to do, you remember, there were planes falling out of the sky. Well, on inside information, he trades stocks. And he reports it. Oh, by the way, I'm on the committee. I know about the investigation. I know all the bad stuff. Oh, I traded stocks and I made a lot of money. I saved a lot of money right now. Chris Collins. I mean, involved in the investigation on whether or not a drug trial actually was successful or not. It was a disaster. Nobody knew it was a disaster. He tells his son, go trade stocks. Yeah. Oh, but he didn't do it. It was only my family.
Well, and the only reason Chris Collins was one of the people to actually pay a price for this, he was convicted, was because he was caught on video making the phone call. Yeah. Everybody else is a little bit smarter. He actually walked out into an open public area, made the phone call, like during the hearing, I think it was. And so everybody said, wow, this is pretty obvious. You got to do something.
Look.
So the other folks aren't as stupid as Chris Collins was. And again, this is a bipartisan issue. Yeah. And according to the numbers, there's also bipartisan support to pass legislation to stop it. Yeah. But I think it's all window dressing. I don't think any of these people actually want to do it.
They've been kicking it down the road for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe even longer than that. But the point is, it's insider trading. These people are going into Congress. They're worth $500,000 when they come out, they're worth $5 million, $10 million.
Yeah.
And this is how they do it. It's insider trading. We throw people in prison for it. And the very idea of Merkley trying to stop this is very disheartening to me. Governors across the country are furious about President Biden's cannabis pardon, but only because the private industry, the prison industry, is going to suffer because of it. This story is so clear. Biden is doing exactly what he should be doing. Biden should be talking about, do you realize that fentanyl is a Schedule II? Okay, people don't understand. You got cannabis, Schedule I, you got fentanyl, Schedule II, and Biden is saying exactly what he should be saying. What the hell? Why are we putting people in jail over marijuana? Why wouldn't we grant them a reprieve because of their use of marijuana? And the problem is the Republican governors are so upset, right?
Yeah, because Biden's pardons are only going to go, obviously, to federal offenses. So it's up to the governors of the states to pardon anybody on the state level offenses. So you have these governors, it's a group of them, according to David Sirota.
Yeah, name of the best. I think he's
There's a Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Bill Lee from Tennessee, and Asa Hutchinson in Arkansas.
Who, oh, by the way, got $270,000 from the private prison industry. So what are they going to do?
Yeah, it is. The private prison industry has been very open about how these, minor marijuana arrests are basically what keep them in business. Listen to this. The demand for our facilities and services could be adversely affected by the relaxation of enforcement efforts, the expansion of alternatives to incarceration and detention, leniency and conviction. So they're telling us, listen, we're screwed if we don't arrest people for marijuana.
Wait. It's stronger than that. Our profits rely on harsh drug laws. Okay, so that's what it's all about. God bless Biden for saying, you need to take a look at the way we look at marijuana. Now, I want to tell you this, full disclosure. I'm involved with the Charlotte's Web. I'm involved with Stanley Brothers. I'm involved and have been for a long time. But as I look at this entire thing, isn't it time to say that fentanyl is killing 100 people a day? Marijuana ain't killed anybody.
Right.
And so Biden is doing exactly what he should be doing, and these bottom feeders are saying, you're taking money away from the people who give us money.
But we're also talking about, this is another massive accomplishment that Biden did.
I know, it's huge.
There's no ads on it. There's no celebrating.
No.
He just does it.
And he needs to be back out there again saying, I want to legalize it across the board.
Exactly.
Leave him. Let the guy be himself. That's what I'm seeing a lot of is they just aren't letting the guy be himself. If he wants to eat ice cream in an ice cream parlor and say whatever's on him, let him do that. Because most of the time what he says, most people agree with.
Yeah.